Hello and good afternoon. My name is Martin Cowart, and welcome to Noonday Meditation and Contemplative Prayer Power Hour, where we've been gathering every day, Monday through Friday, to create this virtual sanctuary, if you will, to love and support each other through this pandemic. And I got to say, I was so grateful. I got the sweetest note from a friend and someone who I know who's been attending, who just told me how much she appreciated these noonday broadcasts, and it's really helped her out. I'm going to actually read what she had to say. I'm not going to tell you her name. She didn't give me permission, but I'm going to read it because it really made me feel great. And this is exactly why I did this. It's not about me. It is about me, and it's not about me. It was because it's something I needed. And I felt like if I needed it, I needed a place to ground myself. I needed a sacred place to be vulnerable and to share my truth and to share what I'm going through and to provide my wisdom around contemplative practices to help us get through this pandemic. And and I'm glad I got it kind of seated back with the beginning of the pandemic, because I had no idea just how big a crisis we were headed into. But she wrote me this morning, and it was, she says, "We did it, Martin, we did it. We voted in our first female vice president of color. And Biden, I feel lighter, happier, like a weight has been lifted. A dark cloud. I'm so grateful for you and your midday meditations that helped me get through many challenging and confusing days and months last year during the height of the COVID and lockdown. I'm so grateful we met and grateful you are a vibrant force in my life. Thank you for being fab." And that just feels so good. Thank you so much for writing that. And I hope you'll come on as my guest sometime, because I feel the same way about you. You've been a real inspiration for me, and I love being your friend, and I love being in this world together. And as we collaborate now, that's what I'm going to talk about today. I want to talk about collaborating. We've gotten through it. Now let's collaborate and let's build a new earth. Let's let go of the old toxic, shadow-driven economic systems that were just painful, because I think they've imploded on their own sword. And either you're going to evolve or you're not. That's the way it's going to happen. The world, humankind is evolving. The world is evolving. So I don't worry about all these people who are still stuck in their old fear-driven nonsense. That's their stuff. There's a bigger power at play here, a bigger force, a creative, loving, creative force at work that's moving us all to a better world. And you can feel it. You can feel it in the day of the inauguration. We can all feel it. And I can particularly feel and moved by the wonderful poem by Amanda Gorman. Wasn't that absolutely just, that's why I wrote about it today, because I think it's so, on so many levels, it is the poetry, the beauty, the creativity, the love, the heart space that is moving us forward. It's something we can all feel good about. And that's the kind of unification we're talking. We're not talking about who's right or wrong on what side. We're talking about unifying in love, unifying and doing what's right for each other, unifying and caring for each other, and building economic systems and economic structures that are for the benefit and the care of everyone. Because we have clearly seen that the old sort of shadow-driven systems that we've been living under just don't work, and they're painful. And look how it finally came to an end. I see that attack on our country is horrible as it was, as the implosion of its own demise. Yes, there will still be people who will be fringing onto that, but I think that as more and more people wake up to the truth, and more hearts and minds begin to get in alignment with the truth of abundance, we'll call it, then we will be, we're, because that's where we're going. That is the direction we are going. It is crystal clear by the leadership in this country. His number one priority is to get control of this deadly virus. People before profits. He doesn't care what it costs, because there's no amount of money that's worth more than a human life. And that is the message. And I want to read just a little bit. The new Dawn blooms. I'm going to read her poem. I'm not going to do it near the justice she did. I mean, wasn't just her whole aura, her whole being. She was so beautifully dressed and so elegant. And the way she delivered that poem, I'm almost embarrassed to try to even read it. But I'm going to, because I think I want to give it honor. That's why I want to do that. I want to use that poem, and I'm going to do my best, but I'm not a poet. And again, if you would, please just say hello in the chat. And we'll meditate. Before I do, I want to just talk a little bit about capitalism. I wrote about that today because somebody wrote to me about capitalism as it was a bad thing, as if it should be destroyed. And I was like, you know, we've been living for so long in what I would call the shadow side of capitalism that we don't even realize that there's a golden side to it. There's a great opportunity within a capitalistic structure that can create economies for everybody to benefit. So let's don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Because like everything, we have a golden side and we have a shadow side. And the shadow side of capitalism is what I call, is rooted in a false narrative called the scarcity mindset. And the scarcity mindset says that there's only a finite amount of resources on the planet, which includes money. There's only a finite amount. Money is created by human beings, by the way. We create money through doing what Amanda did. That is the creation of wealth, by making a contribution, adding value to the world. That's how wealth is created. It's not hoarding money into a bank account. That is not wealth. That's hoarding money. That's out of scarcity, that I better have my own share. And we've all done it. Don't let me get wrong. We've all lived in shadow. We grew up in this world where we all learned that in order to get our fair share, we had to work hard. We had to do this. We had to do that to get our fair share of. And then to the point where if doing it by sort of legal means wasn't working, we might resort to illegal means. We might resort to lying and manipulation and all sorts of different things to get money for ourselves. I think Biden said in his speech, lies for power. We would lie for it because we thought money gave us power. We falsely believed money gave us some kind of power. And there are people in our government today still who believe that, but that's changing. But that comes, all that greed, all of that nasty, bad feeling junk that comes that we experience is what I would call the scarcity mindset. It's the shadow side of capitalism. And if there's a shadow, there's got to be a light somewhere. And that's what I want to talk about. If there's a shadow, as dark as that shadow has been, there is a brighter light. As dark as that shadow has been, and as painful as that shadow has been to live under, both individually and collectively, there is the joy of a light on the other side. And that light is the abundance mindset. That is the abundance of capitalism. And the abundance mindset includes the heart space. It knows the truth. It believes. It comes from a deeper sense within us, a deeper knowing within us that we are whole, we are complete, we have everything we need. There is nothing lacking, and infinite resources to create a wonderful world, to create a world where everybody gets to bring their highest potential to the market and create wealth for the world and themselves. And that's the example we saw in Amanda, from my opinion. We saw her bring the best of herself, the best of humanity, in a young 22-year-old girl, black girl, sharing her gifts from her heart. And when I read this morning, went online to see that a book she hadn't even written yet, that's coming out in September 21st. She's got a book coming out. It's in pre-sale on Amazon. It has already hit the bestseller list on Amazon. Now, that's the first. I don't know there's ever been a book of poems that have been a bestseller on Amazon. Okay? You see how we're changing? But there have been a lot of bestsellers on how to make a lot of money for yourself. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I'm just saying for her, that contribution, and I sure do hope, and she will bask in the joy of creating wealth for herself and for the world. That's how we create wealth, by the way. We add value, we make a contribution. And to create economic systems, including capitalism, which says we can have private enterprises, which is good. I can keep the profits that I make from my contribution. Okay, but when you get the profits of your contribution, you just want to put more out there. Good example of that is Oprah Winfrey. She's a billionaire. She and I grew up in the same neck of the woods. We both grew up in the rural South. We're both the same age. And her chances of being successful financially and mine, I had much higher chance than she did because I was a white guy growing up somewhere privileged. And she was a poor black girl. But she tapped into something. She tapped into the same thing that Amanda tapped in, that power within herself. We all have that, by the way. We all have what Amanda has. We all have what Oprah has. Those are our unique gifts to our true nature. And when we bring our unique gifts to the world and we share them, we make a contribution by sharing those unique gifts and our unique abilities at our highest potential to the world, it can come back to us in the form of money. And then money can become an expression of love. It's a giving and receiving, a place of gratitude. Thank you for your contribution. Let me give you an exchange of money because it was so valuable for me. Your gift is worth a lot more. Your book of poetry is worth a lot more to me than my $19 in my pocket. I will gladly give you $19 for your book of poetry in exchange. That's how we create wealth. That's how money can be an expression of wealth. That is the golden side of capitalism. And then it's because it's a private exchange. It's her money. She can do whatever she wants to with it. But I bet you, just like Oprah, she will do it for the benefit of the world because she'll keep that money flowing, making more contributions, adding more value, making more money, creating more wealth. That is the golden side of capitalism. And we're going to bring that back. We are bringing it back because millions of us have discovered that and are living in an abundance mindset. I'm a prosperity coach. This is what I teach clients how to do, by the way. How to teach my clients exactly how to let go, because the scarcity mindset shows up in a lot of different ways that keep us small. And so this is a subject that I near and dear to my heart. And I just, this morning when I read that she had her book of poetry that hadn't even been written yet was on the Amazon bestseller list to be released in 9 months from now. Wow, that's exciting. Where were we all? What are we willing to do? My question, what are we willing to contribute to make a difference? How are we willing to show up and contribute in the next few days, the next moment, the next year, to make a difference in the world, to create value and to contribute and create wealth for ourselves and each other. How do we all embrace what's in our way? So, and then let me just title it, and then the contemplative prayer piece is this. That's the action we take. Because what we do is we let go of our egoic beliefs in our heads of scarcity. The idea of scarcity is the egoic system of not enough. Everybody has it. It's nature. Darkness is nature. We all have it inside ourselves. So we come together, we pray with intention to let all that stuff go. Just let it go, because it's not true. And step into a deeper truth within ourselves. So let me just read that poem, because I think it's just quite beautiful. And I know I can't read it as good as she did, as well as she did, but I'm going to read it anyway, because I just think it steps. And then we're going to meditate, okay? And again, if you're joining me, please just say hello. Type into the chat box. Say hello. Glad to have you here. And if you're watching the replay, also type in and say, because I get more people watching the replay than I actually get people coming live. So please read what I wrote today. I think it's powerful, and it can be helpful and changing. And read the piece that I wrote. I'd love it if you read that. And if you comment on it, add, if you don't agree, you can certainly disagree with me. But I would love to have more engaged conversation. And one of the best places and the safest places to do that is over in our Facebook page group called the Financial Mystics Sanctuary. You can go in there and we can write about anything we're feeling. I just ask that we do it from a place of compassionate truth. Hey, Mindy, how are you doing? I'm just beside myself with joy these days. And I wanted to share today this beautiful poem that was read to us by the poet herself, Amanda Gorman. And I'm going to do the best I can with my skills. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace. And the norms and notions of what just isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms into one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true. That even as we grieved, we grew. That even as we hurt, we hoped. That even as we tired, we tried. That we'll forever be tied together, victorious. Not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, Then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. That is the promised glade, the hill we climb, if only we dare. It's because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It is the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption. We feared at its inception. We do not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour. But within it, we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe? Now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted or intimidated, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their blunders, but one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left with. Every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West, and we will rise from the windswept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states. We will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge. Battered and beautiful, when day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we are brave enough to see it. If only we are brave enough to be it. Beautifully written by Amanda Gorman. Amanda, thank you so much for these heart-centered words of inspiration and encouragement during this demarcation, if you will, of a new earth. So let's meditate. Let's meditate on those words as we open our hearts and let go of all that old stuff. Let go of the old. Hold on to nothing. Take off my glasses today. And allow that bell to wake us up. And reset and let go. And we're going to start with a little conscious breathing. Let's open our bellies and pull in a nice deep breath deep into our belly, past the heart, and create as much space inside of ourselves as we can. And just let that go. Again, open your belly, Breathe in and expand the belly, expand the heart, create as much space as you can, and let everything go. Hold on to nothing. One more deep breath in, deep into the belly, and anchor it down deep within yourself. Find an anchor, find a place to hold on to within you. Deep within you. Deep at the bottom. All that infinite space. And allow the breath to guide us deeper within. To find that deep anchor within our bellies. The space around our hearts. As we let go of every thought, every opinion, every judgment, every story, every narrative, every belief that's good or bad, right or wrong, and especially any beliefs we have of which we are ashamed. Hold on to nothing. And let everything go. And be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Not me, Martin. Oh no. Just remind Martin. But deep within me, the life force within me, what else could it be? But the divine spark of life, the light. Let go of all the darkness. Close your eyes and fall gently back into the stillness of unconditional love. Allow the sound of that bell to wake us up to our thinking, our planning. Just let them go, gently let them go. Come back to your breath. Find that anchor in your belly. Fall back into love. Hear the sound of that bell and the sound of my voice to wake us up from our thinking, our distractions in our mind, and let them go and come back to the present moment with the breath. Feel and find that anchoring place deep within your belly. Let go of everything else and come home to yourself. Come home to that infinite space of unconditional love within you. Allow the sound of that bell to wake us up from our thinking so that we can let all that go. With intention, let it go. And reset and fall back into love. Allow the sound of that bell to wake us up from our thinking, our planning. Let it all go and fall back into love. There's our final bell. Could be. Call it anything you want to. It could be called capitalism. Why can't it? Capitalism is just a free society that allows people to make a contribution in order to make profits. It doesn't have anything to do with not holding things in reverence. That's the shadow side. It's exactly what an economic system called capitalism can be on the golden side. We've just been so immersed in the shadow, RJ. We've just been so immersed in the shadow, we can't even see the light. But everything that has a shadow has to have a light, or it can't be. So, yeah, the shadow side of capitalism is not going to hold the planet and its inhabitants in reverence. But the golden side of capitalism would always hold life and its inhabitants first. That is the golden side of capitalism. Understand something about shadow and light. You're a shadow worker just like me. You know what I'm talking about. And another question Another thing, why can't you make it so? You know, we don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We want a free economic system with free markets that allows everybody to contribute for the benefit of everyone, where money can become an expression of love. It's maybe redefining capitalism after so many years of scarcity. But if we redefine an economic system, call it whatever you want to, but I think it scares a lot of people when we talk about getting rid of something. Because then if we replace capitalism, we put in something called socialism or communism or something like that. We're a free democracy founded on a capitalistic belief that we all are free. Not always true. I agree. And it certainly hasn't been working very well for a lot of people. I would definitely agree with that. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can be a free market where, just like this beautiful, young, talented Black girl contributed her gift. And as a result, she's now got a contract on Amazon to deliver a book. That's capitalism at its best. That is capitalism. In the golden side of capitalism. So don't say it can't. You can call it anything you want to. But an economic system that holds life of the planet and its inhabitants and revenue could be called capitalism. You look up the definition. It's a free market where everyone gets to contribute to it. And yes, we need social structures and tax structures within the system that supports every single person. And you can call it whatever you want to. Hello, Derso. How are you doing? Nice to see you. You know, good to be here. And on this wonderful new day, this new dawning of a new America, of a new world, a new earth. Yes, exactly. We all want to be able to offer and be seen, and we need resources to replicate it. You know, we need an exchange, some way of exchanging value, and money can be a wonderful way of exchanging value. It's in flow. It's not about hoarding it. How much can I get? But let's start looking at how we can make capitalism work in our favor, how we can ground that term in an expression of love and abundance and prosperity. Because that is the way capitalism is designed to work. It is designed to be exactly what RJ is saying to do. It is to hold our system and our people in reverence. There's nothing in capitalism that says profits before people. Nothing. That money is the almighty thing. That is the shadow side. And like everything that has a shadow, there has to be a light. So let's focus on the light. So we can be seen. We can feel compelled to offer a contribution. That's how we create wealth for ourselves and for each other. It's not about hoarding it for me because there's only so much there. That comes out of scarcity. So capitalism coming out of abundance can be a whole different picture. Because, you know, there's plenty for everyone to enjoy. So my invitation to you, RJ, is to redefine it, because that is our system. We are in a capitalistic democracy. We're in a free market. So let's celebrate that, and let's put it to use in a way that everybody benefits from it. Yeah, nixing profit before people. Great. The new capitalism. the new earth, the new way of being. Profit before people. We are nixing that idea. It is an old strategy that is painful and harmful to all of its inhabitants, including the earth itself. That is the shadow of scarcity. So, my loved ones, today, I am, as of the new year, I've decided that I'm only going to do this on Monday. I need a little bit of some space here myself. I typically been doing this on Saturdays, but I'm not going to do these on Saturdays in the new year. I'm going to do them Monday through Friday because I love doing them, but I need a little space. Joy the Wise One says, put some space around things, Martin. So going into the new year, and also I want to do some other things on Saturday. I might have some Zoom meetings and some workshops at this time that's really what I want to do. I want to fill this space with something different. I'd like to have some more interactive workshops around storytelling and writing, and maybe one of the workshops we do would be on reimagining generosity and capitalism from gold. You know, how can we redefine capitalism to come from a place of abundance and not from a place of scarcity? That could be a fun workshop. You know, how we reimagine it in our lives. That's what I want to start doing on Saturdays, is start having live events. That'd be free still, I think. Sure they will. I want to do free workshops, more interactive Zoom workshops on Saturday at noon. I don't have one for tomorrow yet, but I'm going to. That's my plan. So again, thank you all so much. And Mindy, you said you were going to get in touch with me. We're going to set up a time to have just a one-on-one conversation for about a good hour. I want to spend a good hour together. I want to hear what you got out of last year, what you want to do this year, and maybe we can collaborate on some work together. Maybe we can collaborate on a workshop. Who knows? But we don't know. We have a conversation. So let's get together on the phone and have a conversation. And that's for anybody that's listening. Anybody that wants to have a conversation with me. I love one-on-one conversations. All you have to do is to send me a little note in my direct messenger. Martin, I'd like to set up a time, and I'll send you a link to my calendar, and we'll get together and we'll talk. I'd love to. You know, I'd love to know more about what you're doing, how you're doing, what you want to do the new year. Anyone in the sound of my voice here. The invitation's on. You just send me a direct message to my messenger, and I'll send you an invitation to my email and to my calendar, and we'll set up a time to get together. Okay. So, people before profit. You know, the old parents, how can you make money if you just talk to everybody? I said, well, because I want to build relationships. You know, I want to create new relationships, deeper relationships, more complete relationships in the new year. Yeah, that's people before profit. That's people before profit. I got all I need. And I love to make money. I love making money. It's fun. I love creating wealth. And that's a good thing. And I love the fact that we live in a free democracy where we can actually do that. Okay. So that's my statement for today. I will see you on Monday at noon. And thank you so much for joining me again today. Thank you for your comments and questions and challenges. RJ, I love that idea. I love the challenge because that's what we live for. We want to be challenged. So thank you for that. And if you're watching the replay, please put your comments in there, and I'll respond to those as well. Because we're collaborating. We are collaborating in the new year. How can we collaborate in the new year together to create this new earth? To create these new social economic structures that everybody can benefit from. You have some questions? Call me. We'll try to figure it out together. You're not doing it alone. I'm here for you. Okay? May love and prosperity prevail.